Evelyn, who is 92 years old, felt really sad when she was told to leave the grocery store she liked the most, but she didn't give up easily. The manager didn't know how capable she was. She showed him what she could do without any difficulty. So when she returned a few days later, Evelyn was prepared. The store manager would soon realize he had made a big mistake. William, who was the store manager, didn't expect to see Evelyn again. He felt like he had to ask her to leave even though he didn't want to. After it was over, he just wanted to forget about it, but he couldn't forget about it forever. A few days later, Evelyn unexpectedly came back, and she wasn't alone. At first, William tried to stop her from coming in, but he quickly realized he couldn't. What was this older woman going to do? William didn't really understand his mistake until Evelyn showed him who she really was. He shouldn't have banned Evelyn from the store. But who is Evelyn, and why was it a mistake to ban her from the store? And why did William make that decision in the first place? When Evelyn did have some free time, she went to the grocery store. Evelyn didn't have a lot of free time. She felt relaxed as she browsed the aisles and picked up a new toy to bring home even though she didn't need it. Additionally, it gave her a chance to get some fresh air and walk around outside of her property. To the best of Evelyn's knowledge, she was invisible during every trip to everyone else in the store. She would quickly discover that this presumption was entirely incorrect. She was unaware that the floor manager of the store was keeping a close eye on her. The floor manager just couldn't get rid of the feeling that Evelyn was acting strangely. There was something strange about the way she spent hours perusing the shelves and almost always left with nothing. He knew she might just be another one of those annoying customers who frequent a store and act like they own it. No matter how closely he watched her, he was unable to come up with a good enough excuse to fire her. He couldn't explain it to the general manager because she wasn't particularly loud or disruptive. All he knew was that this woman kind of gave him the creeps, and he was sick of seeing her wander the store, stopping infuriatingly in the middle of aisles to consider grains and canned goods. The floor manager felt pressured to find a way to permanently ban Evelyn from the store, even though he knew it wasn't the right thing to do. He decided to play a trick on her by sneaking a bottle of alcohol into her bag, hoping she would get caught. But Evelyn never did anything wrong and he knew it. He just wanted her gone. The floor manager's boss, William, averted his eyes at the exaggerated tale. Even though the floor manager was constantly complaining about the customers, it was still his responsibility to investigate whether these claims were accurate. As Evelyn was buying her afternoon snack, he moved toward the cashier. William stopped Evelyn as she approached the door and kindly inquired as to whether she had fulfilled her needs for the day. She appeared a little confused by the conversation but assured William that her shopping went smoothly. He inquired further about her journey, wondering if she might have taken something that wasn't rightfully hers. It was time to get right to the point because he could see Evelyn starting to become a little agitated. Gentlemanly, William said, "Ma'am, do you mind if I peek inside your bags? It won't take very long." Fully agitated, Evelyn scoffed. "But why would that be required? I only made one purchase. I also have a receipt." She waved a wrinkly hand with the receipt in front of him. September sighed. "Well, to be honest, we received a tip that you may have placed something in your bag there that you did not purchase. I need to go through it right away." Evelyn found the charge to be offensive. She was a dependable client. Why would she ever attempt to rob a business she frequently visited? She didn't resist the inspection, though. After a brief pause, she even encouraged it because she was sure she had nothing to conceal. However, William quickly made the alcohol bottle she had hidden in her bag visible. Her mouth gaped in shock. "That is not possible. I didn't even glance at the booze. There probably is a mistake here." "You I don't drink," she cried out, but William remained stationary. He explained that he could not make an exception for her because they had a zero-tolerance policy for theft. She was prohibited from the store starting that day. Julie was horrified. She was hearing things that she couldn't believe. The floor manager was giddy and a few feet away. He was finally free of this woman who followed him around his shop like a ghost. But William wasn't as content. He wished he could have chosen another course of action instead of banning her because it broke his heart to see how upset she was. But it was simply not feasible. Evelyn pleaded with William, explaining how much she loved this store and how it was part of her daily routine. William refused to change his mind, leaving Evelyn devastated. As she left the store, she vowed to fight back. Despite being an elderly lady, she was determined not to give up. Meanwhile, William couldn't shake off his doubts about whether he did the right thing. The floor manager seemed oddly happy about Evelyn leaving, but William tried not to dwell on it too much. Evelyn never would have been expected to defend herself in such a strong manner, especially given how elderly and frail she appeared to be. This lady couldn't possibly be any younger than 85, but she had the spirit of a person half her age. The floor manager and William would soon come to regret their role in tearing Evelyn away from her favorite store. In the days following Evelyn's departure, the store remained calm, much to William's relief. He disliked arguing with customers and preferred to see the good in people. However, the floor manager took advantage of his absence and imposed strict bans on certain shoppers, showing a different side to his personality. Despite the floor manager's harsh measures, the store still attracted a diverse crowd, including some who frequented the alleys nearby. The floor manager wanted to ban slow shoppers and those who didn't spend much, but he knew convincing William would be tough. Then, unexpectedly, the police showed up one morning, claiming Evelyn had sent them. William was surprised and worried, but fortunately, there was no robbery. The officers left without much explanation, leaving William puzzled about Evelyn's involvement. Only 15 minutes later, as other employees began to enter the store, they left once more. William had to explain what had happened because some people had still seen the officers leave. The police officers shocked the staff members a lot. They believed that the store was experiencing a bad situation. The employees bombarded William with inquiries, but all they actually knew was that they had allegedly arrived because Evelyn sent them, and that before they left, they had promised to return. On his computer, he had not even noticed what they were doing. William spent the rest of the day attempting to determine what had occurred that morning and why. Even though the floor manager hurriedly approached to inquire further, he remained in his office. There was no doubt that William was unhappy with the circumstances. Police interactions with the store were always positive. He changed his strategy when he was unable to determine what the police had checked that morning. How could a senior citizen like Evelyn organize a large police force to obtain a search warrant to search his store? Normally, the police would schedule a meeting, correct? No police station ought to ever show enough concern over an elderly woman who is prohibited from entering a grocery store for any reason, even someone who has been barred for allegedly shoplifting. Did they not have more important things to take care of? Evelyn had to possess a unique quality. Did she perhaps have any connections to the police force? There had to be a problem with Evelyn for this to have happened. William was confident that the police would not immediately respond to a store ban for an elderly woman. He made an effort to consider every potential explanation. He was unable to comprehend anything. William searched for information about her on Google all afternoon, but he found nothing. He returned home feeling let down and still very perplexed. He gave Evelyn and the police's situation all of his attention that evening, but he would have all the answers he needed by tomorrow. The same group of police officers came to the store almost at the same time as yesterday. William wasn't as surprised this time. He had thought about this happening again. But this time, there weren't 4 officers. They had someone special with them. William recognized her right away. Evelyn was there too, smiling like she knew what was going to happen next. William found it strange that she was allowed to come with the police. Normally, they don't bring just anyone. The police captain asked to talk to William in his office. William wanted an explanation quickly, but the officers said they had to wait for one more person, the floor manager. William didn't understand why they couldn't talk without him there, but he had to call him. He called the floor manager right away and asked him to come to the office. He told him the police were back and they didn't want to say anything until he arrived. After 10 minutes, the door opened. The floor manager turned red when he saw all the police waiting for him. He tried to speak but couldn't. The police captain said they were there because he was Evelyn's grandson. That's why she was allowed to come. Evelyn was upset about what happened and said she didn't steal anything or put the alcohol in her bag. They had to come in the morning before to watch the security camera footage from that day at the store. He had asked some friends at the police station to let him do this. He wanted to know what really happened. He trusted what Evelyn said because he was her grandson. They quickly found the video footage and saved it as proof that the floor manager had put the bottle in Evelyn's bag. They went back to the police station with evidence to file a case for defamation. They asked Evelyn if she wanted to come with them and she agreed. They told the store that unless Evelyn could come back that day and the floor manager was fired, they would take legal action. William was happy to do this because he was upset that his trusted employee had done something wrong. He immediately fired the floor manager because he was disappointed in him. The floor manager couldn't argue with this decision. He knew he was wrong and had gone too far. From that day on, Evelyn could go to the store whenever she wanted. She didn't hold any grudges against William because he was just doing his job. The store went back to normal, but with a new floor manager. Evelyn got along well with him.